Listen to that. My name is Werner Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. Silence. How we have become so attached to silence. And I'm referring to my wife and I. You see, we can't wait for the little man to go and take his afternoon nap. It might sound like we are bad parents, but that little bit of a break when he's in dreamland, silence. It reminds me of a friend I spoke to earlier this week, which also brought up an interesting topic. Because for him, he was really going into the dark space, and he's really struggling with maintaining this whole idea of working and isolation and all these complexities. He's going to try something interesting. He is going to take a holiday in isolation. He's going nowhere, but he's taking a holiday from work. He's taking a little bit of a break. And I think that's interesting, specifically because for many of us, the idea of weekend, work day, night, day, family time, all those lines have become blurred, and I don't think that's very healthy either. And then, just to crown it all, we are heading into a long weekend. So around me, it feels like Poland is like a tightly wound guitar string. You see, usually in normal times, or shall I say, usually in the olden days, Polish folks would be rushing out for the long weekend to enjoy the new spring sunshine and perhaps go to the seaside in the north, eat zapiekanka and gofry. However, the government's been very strategic. They're only going to make an announcement to the isolation rules next week because they know if they opened the floodgates this week, it would be in chaos. All my dear Polish friends would have been out the door and all the roads would have been blocked.
This is Tammy Gooler Loeb from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm a career and executive coach. I'm also a podcast host. And I know Werner from a couple of places, but the first place Werner and I met was through a group that meets every other Saturday afternoon. We meet virtually because I'm in the US and Werner's in Poland. And we meet every other Saturday afternoon. It's a group of podcasters, or it started off as a group of podcasters, a group that was started by our dear friend Fei Wu. And Werner and I have never met in person, but I feel like he is a very dear friend and colleague. We also took a video course together and had a lot of fun with that. So I just love Werner, and I love a lot of the work he does. And we've shared a lot of things over time and realized just how much we have in common. And during this time, this pandemic, this stay in place time, what have I learned about myself? I've learned that I enjoy stillness. I actually knew that about myself already. There are a lot of things I already knew about myself, but it just kind of confirmed, this time has confirmed a lot of things I already knew about myself. I am staying in place at home with my husband and my 25-year-old daughter, who had just moved to New York City a few months before the pandemic hit. And she moved back home just temporarily because she lost her job and didn't want to get stuck in her tiny apartment in New York City. So she'll be moving back there. But for now, the three of us are staying cozy in our little house, and we each stay in our own little corners, and yet we get together for meals, and we've been coexisting pretty nicely. But I have to say that for somebody who works from home all the time, which I do, I am accustomed to having the house to myself most of the time. So having two other bodies in the house most of the day has been different for me, and it has been an adjustment. And I've had to learn a few things about myself, that I have to remove myself and sequester myself in another room fortunately, we have enough rooms in the house to do that. It's not a big house, but we have enough rooms where we can close the door and situate ourselves. And what I've also learned about myself is that I was in the process of moving my business, my coaching business, from trying to reach from one to many. What that means is I've been doing a lot of one-on-one coaching, and I've been really wanting to reach more people through mastermind groups and writing a book. I do a podcast, trying to reach a broader audience. And I realized that's still true for me. I have very, very few one-on-one clients right now. A lot of people have put their coaching on hold. And as much as I absolutely love my clients, I have to say, don't tell them I said this, but I'm really not missing the one-on-one coaching that much. Shh, don't tell them. I do love my clients, but I'm really knowing now that I'm really heading in the right direction. So that's been really nice to have that kind of affirmed. So here I am telling you about all the things I'm kind of enjoying about this time during this pandemic. I am not enjoying all the reports of how many people are suffering and dying and being sick. I would not trade this time away for any of that. At the same time, I do appreciate the opportunity to learn from this time. So it's been a really refreshing opportunity in that way. But I would have preferred to have another way to do this learning and get that opportunity. I also just want to thank Werner for the opportunity to talk to all of you in this way. And I hope everybody out there continues to stay safe and well and healthy.
We have to sit back a little bit longer and wait another week or two to see and hear if our isolation sentence will be commuted. But still, even with that said, looking around me and seeing what my friends are experiencing and what's going on in the world, I still consider myself and my family the lucky ones. Thanks for listening.